Alright, I want to take a moment and show you how to open up a coconut. Now, where I live, coconuts are not indigenous to the area at all. It's upper Midwest. Doesn't get warm enough, not even close, to grow coconuts. But you can go to many grocery stores, many ethnic markets, especially tropical places, tropical regional ethnic markets like Asian stores and whatnot. And they'll usually have a supply of coconuts. If you like coconuts, then that's where you go to get them, obviously, but you have to get them open. So I'm just going to show how to open up a coconut. And right now, as you can see, this is the actual nut itself. When it comes off of the tree, it's got a big, thick husk around it that you have to peel the husk off. One way to do that primitively is to take a sharp stick, usually a piece of bamboo or something, and stick it in the ground, and then you take the husk and you kind of pry the husk off of the nut. So this has already been dehusked, so they're usually sold like this, so you don't have to worry about that part. But the part is to get the coconut water out of here, and you can tell a nice one, a fresh one, because you can hear the water sloshing around inside. And after this gets a little older, the water will condense into the actual coconut meat, which is where you get the coconut milk from after you grate it and to a pulp and then squeeze it out. So we're going to be after the water. So what I'm going to do is usually I've got a sharp dowel, sharpened like a pencil, a pretty blunt chopstick or something like that would work. And we got this face here, so what we have is two eyes and a mouth, and usually the mouth itself has a little lip, so it looks like a mouth. We want to avoid this one, but we want to try to punch in both of the eyes. So really all you do is you take the dowel here, and you take a rock or something hard and you tap it really sharp. You can feel when you break through, and you should be able to just pull that out. Okay, and then we've got another one here. Actually, before I do this, let me go ahead and get a jar or something to pour it into. Alright, so let's measure how much this size of coconut yielded. And just pour this in. And wow, almost, well, that's 3/4 of a cup, approximately, just a little over 3/4 of a cup. And it's really nice and sweet. It's savory as well. So it's really refreshing, actually. Again, I'm not a big fan of coconut in general, but I do like the coconut drink, the coconut water. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to crack this open. So what we got here, I got my heavy duty blade here, and I'm going to just, there we go. So like I mentioned before, there's a ridge line between the eyes here, like that. Okay, and I want to take my back of my blade, I want to give this a sharp whack perpendicular to this line, and hopefully it'll give us a nice clean cut. So that's what I'm hoping. So I'm using the back of the blade. I'm gonna watch my fingers. Found the line. I want to give it some hard, sharp whacks. Okay. Do it again. It's wanting to crack. There we go. That did it. And it's nice and sharp. So we can take this and kind of give this a little whack with the mallet. There we go. That helps. That's pretty good. That worked out pretty well. So we got our 2 halves, and this is the coconut meat in the center. And you can eat this right out of it. I'm gonna sheathe my blade for safety. And then we can grate this, or we can cut it out. Okay, so we're gonna cut this out, and I got my knife here. And one way to do it is you can just really just kind of cut it out of the shell itself with a really sharp tool, and it should come right out. You can do that and start peeling it out. There's another method using a grating tool that we'll go to, but this is a pretty cool way, easy way to get the big chunks out. Be careful with the blades, and that's how you get the pieces out. Alright, so we are finally able to crack open our coconut, and I got this seeded coconut shredder, again at the local Asian market, relatively cheap. This is how it's constructed, and it's got like this spur device on the front end that you're able to shave and grate off the coconut meat, and you sit on it and you take the coconut and you kind of rub it here. So I'm going to demo this in just a second. So I basically want to take one of the halves of a coconut here, and I have the spur between my legs. I know this may look somewhat compromising, whatever. At any rate, I'm just kind of get rid of some of the hairs, the fibers, which are actually the fibers of the husk when it's fresh out. Once you dehusk it, it makes good tinder for making fires and such. But we want to grate this, and I went on ahead and rinsed it out. And all it is you just kind of just rub it against the spur. And you'll start to get the grated coconut meat. So yeah, there we go. Like so. Okay, so after much scraping, you can get the coconut shell pretty clean like this. You just need to, clean it out a little bit more, and then we can cut and process and size it. It's a little bit too bad this is going to be shallower than I'd like it to be, but it'll still work. It'll be functional for what I want to use this for. But a little easier way and quicker way to get out the meat is to go ahead and cut the meat out of the shell with a sharp blade like this, and you kind of score it to the shell. And what you're able to do then is, then I would take a butter knife. This is too dangerous to use in this instance, so you take a butter knife or something and you can just kind of pry it. You can pry the meat out, and it kind of pops right off like so. So just like that. It's got a bit of some skin on it, so we're gonna use a potato peeler to get that off, or you can cut it off, and then go ahead and cut some more off of here like that. And then we just take our butter knife and just kind of pry it off. This comes off fairly easy like that, and then we'll put that in there. So just like so. So we're gonna clean this out and make it look like this, and that's pretty much how you get open the coconut shell, get the juice, get the meat, and how to pry it out or to scrape it out.